Anytime the drug industry has been under siege for its prices being too high, but low prices for some drugs are actually leading to shortages. It's a market failure with dire consequences for patients. Here's Meg Tirrell's special report.
To Karen Hay, her diagnosis with bladder cancer in her 50s came as a shock.
I had barely come to terms with that.
Then, after her initial treatment, she was dealt another blow. The best drug to treat her disease wasn't available to her.
That kind of took away the last little bit of strength I had for a little while.
The drug is called BCG, a decades-old treatment thought to stimulate the immune system.
It was the first and still the most effective immunotherapy for cancer.
But there's a shortage, one that's been going on for years. Originally made by Sanofi and Merck, after manufacturing issues at a Sanofi Pasteur facility in 2012, that company stopped making BCG in 2016. And though Merck says it's more than doubled production, BCG still isn't available to everyone who needs it. That angers doctors like Ben Davies.
To say to somebody, we don't have that, and I can offer you inferior products, is, decimating. It's no question that it's caused deaths.
BCG is just one of more than 100 drugs in shortage. Experts blame market failure.
These are very, very inexpensive drugs, and so it's not very profitable to make these products, but it's also difficult to make these products. In many cases, it doesn't make economic sense for a company to make one of these old, cheap drugs when they could make something more expensive.
Merck says it, quote, continues to work around the clock to get BCG to as many patients as we can, and that it remains firmly committed to patients and physicians when other companies have chosen to exit the market and where no others have invested in manufacturing. More pain for cancer patients like Hay.
We are perfectly capable of making enough of this substance. Our system chooses not to.
And guys, these kinds of shortages are happening across the system, from antibiotics to pain medications to drugs for childhood cancer even. People just say in the healthcare system that spends the most on healthcare in the world, in America, they can't believe that this is happening.
Why? What is the company saying? That it can't raise prices, it's not allowed to raise prices, and as a result, it can't manufacture more? I don't get it.
So they've doubled production to the maximum capacity that they can in their facility, and they've even sped up production and maximized what they can do there. They say they won't raise the price because it wouldn't be the right thing to do. Some people do say, well, just raise the price if that would allow you to invest in perhaps another facility to do this. And Merck just says, we don't think raising the price is the right way to go here. We're trying to be responsible and supply as many patients as we can.
So why doesn't the FDA step in and do what it's done in the past, which is allow it to make it easier for competitors to come in and make the same drug? Do they hold the patent and no one else can?
No, not necessarily. Other companies had made the drug, and there are trials going on of other strains of this. It's a bacteria, actually, to treat this disease. Clinical trials are difficult, too, because the drug's in shortage. So in order to compare things to the best available therapy, to BCG, you need BCG for the trials. So those are going on, but
that's a different drug. I mean, it's a different strain of a drug.
Right. What about generics? I think is where you're going. Why no generics? They have a patent still?
No, it's not a block to get to the market. It's just a difficult drug to manufacture. It takes 3 months. You have to grow it in these test tubes on potatoes. It's a very strange manufacturing process, and it's hard and it's cheap. So there's just no incentive for other companies to get into the marketplace. And that's the market failure we're talking about here.
What could be done?
Well, another company could potentially be enticed into the market if prices could go up. We haven't seen that happen. It's been a one-player marketplace for a long time.
Do you think Merck is keeping prices low so that nobody else does come into it?
No, I don't get that impression necessarily. Well, you guys might.
I mean, just think about it. Actually, there was 2 years ago at the Jackson Hole Symposium, the central banks, they talked about these companies that were winner-take-most companies, right? And they had serious market power. And they looked at in the consumer sector, what do they do with that market power? Well, they actually drive prices down and increase productivity. In the healthcare sector, they actually used it for pricing purposes. And so you have to question having 12-year patent protection and the like. Merck, in essence, is pricing this at a level that no one else will be able to clear the price because they have this market power. It seems like an abuse of market power.
Well, if another player came in, though, I think hospitals would certainly pay higher prices for this drug in order to get it. It's just that there isn't an incentive for somebody to go through the setting up a plant and manufacturing this very complex drug and making sure that it's pure every single time that it gets delivered to patients. Nobody wants to get in.
Are there any other pricing pressures, though? I mean, is this a question where Medicaid would never allow the price to go up 25 or 30 or 50%, whatever it took to clear it.
I've been trying to figure out if there is a reason that the price couldn't go up, because you often do see drug prices spike when there isn't competition. And some people would say that's the market working. Other people say that's an abuse of the system.
Right.
Merck just says, and I asked them directly, is there a reason you can't raise the price? And they just said it's not the right thing to do. Other people disagree.
Right thing to do because then someone else will come in the market,
you know,
or
these
right thing to do because they're
for
being
high
benevolent.
prices too. It's just amazing to see that there is a drug that exists that could help these people, and it's just not being produced. Meg, thank you. A different way of looking at things. Thank you.